I want to talk this morning very briefly about something very close to my heart, has been for the last couple of years, and that is mindset for business. Something that I have become involved with over the last 4 years since I kind of really found out about personal development and so on, and something I wish I had found out quite a long time ago. So what is mindset all about in terms of business? Well, it's really all about improving how you think and how you approach situations, and how you adapt and how you take ownership and responsibility for a lot of things in your business and in your life in order to help you to develop and to grow as a business owner and as a person, and to be a leader for your team. It's all of those types of things. So it is really, really important stuff. And I think that every business owner at some point should be getting into personal development and should be looking at this stuff because it really does help. And today I want to talk around removing a lot of the mystique. I'm not going to be throwing mystical quotes into the whole situation. I like to be really, really practical about this stuff. And to start off, I want to give you 3 ground rules that we're going to lay into getting started with mindset training and growth and developing what I call a growth mindset. So the 3 ground rules are: number 1, be patient. Being patient, and this is a long game that you're going to play in terms of developing yourself and developing your mindset. And I compare it quite often to long distance running. You're not going to be able to run a marathon next week. For most people, you're going to be training for 6 months, 12 months, if not longer. And in actual fact, it's going to take longer than that to be able to achieve a certain sort of time at a marathon distance. So this is an ongoing process. I suppose it's a bit of a life change in many aspects, but it doesn't have to be that big and massive. It can be small changes, all adding up to a bigger change in the long run. But be patient with it all as well. Second ground rule is you are going to have bad days, believe it or not. This is not some kind of magic that all of a sudden changes you to being the most positive, energetic, vibrant person that anyone's ever met. That's not realistic. Depending on where you are in your business and in your life and how you are approaching everything that you're dealing with, that will determine the sort of journey that you have to go on and determine the number of good days and bad days you're going to have throughout the process. But be under no illusions, you're going to have bad days. I heard Tony Robbins talking about this once, and I was absolutely gobsmacked to hear him saying that he feels crap, he feels down, he feels shitty and doesn't have good days. And this is a guy who you would sort of look at as being at the pinnacle of personal growth and development stuff on the planet. So it was refreshing to hear that, and it does make you realise we're all human. Final ground rule on all of this is CPR. Consistency, practice, repetition. Say it again: consistency, practice, repetition. If I compare developing yourself, personal development, and developing your mind for growing your business or setting goals in your life, again, I would compare it to the long distance running, where if you want to be able to run a marathon, it's going to take you 6 or 12 months of continuous training. And in actual fact, if you want to keep that process going to do your marathon slightly faster than the previous time, it's going to be doing the same process again year after year after year. And it's all about being very consistent. If I think about the long distance training I did a number of years ago, any training schedule that we were doing was fairly similar. It had the same kind of base training involved. You had to build up your weekly mileage, you had to run longer at the weekends, and every weekend you added on an extra half a mile or a mile to the runs that you were doing. And it was just repeating the process time and time again. That's how we see sporting champions, world champions at different sports getting to that level. They're just constantly training, practicing. And it's all to do with the consistency, practice, and repetition in their game. Now, if I wanted to give you a couple of tips to get you started on mindset, where would you start? Well, first of all, learn to switch off. Now, some people practice the likes of mindfulness and meditation and so on to do that, but it is important to learn to switch off. In order to actually get better at and achieve goals and things that you're doing in your business and in your life, be it a sporting achievement or whatever, you do have to have the rest days involved as well. So you can't be all the time consuming content and reading and talking about this stuff. You need to switch off. You need to switch off from your business. You need to switch off from anything else that you're doing. And literally when I say switch off, I mean completely switch off. And it might be 5 or 10 minutes Just going for a walk and listening to sounds and just taking in the fresh air, something as simple as that can help to actually bring your mind, cleanse your mind again, so that you can actually really focus on things when you're going to do those. The next tip I'm going to give you is in relation to distractions. So there's loads of distractions nowadays, and the distractions that we have in relation to our PC and notifications and emails and your mobile phone and your social media and other people. Learn to switch off all of these distractions. I've minimized most notifications on my mobile phone. Maybe so frustrating sometimes for my wife or even for clients. But when I'm in work, trying to do work and give a good service to clients, you want to try to be really, really focused on that. So I try to minimize the amount of distractions that I have. The next tip I'm going to give you is in relation to surrounding yourself with the right stuff and people. So for personal development and for growth mindset stuff, for many people that can be quite a big change, because their social circle can sometimes change throughout the whole process. And that can be a tough one to realise. But if you're constantly associating yourself with people who are negative all the time, it is constantly going to make you have those bad days that I spoke about earlier. But when I also talk about surrounding yourself, I mean, read books that are going to take you on that journey. Watch YouTube videos and follow certain people on social media. Don't allow the overwhelm of everything you'll see on YouTube from a lot of the most renowned personal growth speakers in the world. Don't follow them all. Pick a few that you really connect with and just consume their content on a regular basis. You might need to do that every day, but just make sure you can always listen to something. There might be a topic that you want to search for. Listen to one thing. It can help to reset your mind and get you focused again. The final thing I'm going to talk about is habits and hyperfocus. So habits and hyperfocus is where it's really at in terms of all of this stuff. So we talked about the ground rules of CPR, consistency, practice and repetition. That strategy is all about building habits. And a habit is something then becomes a bit more sort of natural and free-flowing and automated for you. So, in your day-to-day stuff, I find myself listening to things in the car whenever I'm out driving. I can listen to something when I'm going from A to B. That's a habit I've just developed, and it does help me to get some more content and information into the mind to see if I can come up with some new ideas. Action is the biggest thing in all of this as well. So those habits have to become action points. So you have to write down, what are you going to do this week? It might be 1 to 5 things, no more than that. That's going to help you get from where you are now to where you want to be. So this is the type of stuff I'm going to be helping with people more as we move into 2021. I have a specific set of coaching sessions and programs I can roll out. And if there's any of this that's connecting with you and you feel you'd like to get help with developing a growth mindset, to work on personal development as part of your business with specific business goals in mind, please reach out. I'd be more than happy to have a chat and we can set something in motion for the new year.